What is up, scent heads, smell beast, and frag freaks? It's your boy. My name is Mega Dave, and today we got a unique tea fragrance with a frosty attitude. That's coming up next, and this is Eau So Fraiche. Yo, what is good, Fresh fam? For everybody returning, I want to say thank you so much for being a freshie. It really means a lot. And if this is your first time here, welcome. As I said before, my name's Mega Dave. This is my channel, Eau So Fraiche. I do reviews on fragrances that I absolutely love. And I hope that you love them too. If you do, give me 2 huge fresh thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoyed the content. Also, think about subscribing and hit me decent down in my bell-in. That lets you know when I'm uploading new content, because who knows, it could be your favorite fragrance that I review next. As you saw from the intro, we're doing another tea fragrance. I'm actually on a little tea kick right now. I'm just sipping one pinky up. And it's a fantastic, enjoyable ride that I'm actually really in love with, which I didn't think that I would be. The other tea fragrance that I fell in love with that came about a month ago was the Latin Tobacco, which was Ormond Jane's Montabaco. Blew my mind, especially when it comes to tea fragrances, and that one in particular was a tobacco-based fragrance. This one here blew my mind again. It is one that was really fought for from one of my friends. His name was Michael Linady. He's in the Facebook group, and he was kind of posting this over and over that Massam at Dua needed to do this. He did it, and it's here. The fragrance that I'm referring to in the house of Dua is called Frosted Empire. So this fragrance is based off of Memo Paris's Winter Palace. It was one that I've heard about a few different times. I actually never owned it. All I ever heard was Michael Linady running his little yapper, saying that it was a fantastic scent, that he needed to do it, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of overlooked it like every other time that he's speaking. But this time he was actually speaking facts. When I saw the bottle first, it looks amazing. The colors are fantastic, and it already gives that appeal. And then when I got my nose on it, I can see where he's coming from. So I see you, brother. You did a good job. Thank you for getting this into the ear of Massam. And Massam, of course, thank you for doing your wizardry and getting this bottle to us so we can sniff it, put it on our bodies, and have some unique tea. But I'm going to shut up and get to why you guys all came here and get to the scent breakdown. All right? I got my Frosted Empire and, of course, my handy dandy fresh strip. And we're going to take this Empire to a frosty journey. One big plume. It's all up in the air now. Right off the gate. Very good bergamot. Very good. Nice little citruses mixed in there. There's nothing like in your face like a summer joint. This is like very good, juicy citrus. A little bit sour too from the bergamot peel. And a nice juicy orange. Orange is kind of the biggest. The bergamot is in the front, and then really quick, the orange comes behind it, kind of sweetens this thing up. And it stays in check and a little bit tamed, if you will, so it doesn't explode with citrus by some red tea that's already in here. The tea's here. There's already also that frosted sniff to it. It's kind of sparkling, a little bit powdery, but it's like a vanilla that's kind of like glazed over it. It's a little sweet. It's spicy, it's aromatic, it's kind of mind-boggling what it's doing, because you do get a gorgeous citrus, but it doesn't explode like a summer joint. It has a very nice vanilla, and then some good spices in there as well from red tea, and it's all around like a very mind-boggling scent because there's so much going on, but it's done so beautiful. When we start getting to the mid, we start getting a nice cooling herbal note. It's very balsamic. We have some styrax, like things like that kind of give this cooling effect to it. And that's where we get the name Winter Palace or Frosted Empire. I tend to perceive it as the frosted is coming from benzoin and tonka bean and vanilla that's all in there, kind of like frosting over the rest of the beautiful fragrance. The tea is in there to hold everything in check. So let's be honest, the tea is the main focus. Now, this is a completely different tea for those fans that sniffed Latin Tobacco or Montabaco from Ormond Jane. This is completely different, where that was a citrus green tea. This is a citrus red tea, so it's green versus red, but they smell nothing alike while smelling like tea still. One of the best ways I can describe this, if I could tell you what this smells like, because it kind of doesn't smell like anything, but it reminds me, this smells like a hot lemon tea with a shot of creamy vanilla thrown into it, and that's what you get. So if you can imagine that smell, that's what this is. Now, the particular tea is spicier, it's red, it's not like in your face and energetic or any of that, but it's also not subdued, it's not dark, it's not nasty. It's very refreshing and comforting, very intriguing though as well. When we get to the base, woody, it's creamy, it's sweetened by some vanilla, some benzoin in there, some tonka bean. There's also a very nice amber wood, so you get a little bit of that warming, woody smell to it. Also, that balsamic that's in the mid is back down here, so it's giving more of that cooling or that frosted, sparkling scent that was in the front. Now it's brought down. This is all in there to lend some Viagra and really give this thing the best push that it can. Now, I never owned the original, like I said. I know Michael Linady in the groups. He was the one saying he wanted this. He also owns it, obviously, and wanted to see how Sam would do blending this together. And he said, to date, out of the 40 that he has, so he doesn't have a ton, but he has a pretty decent amount. And I would say he's a pretty avid collector of Dua. Said this is the closest to the originals. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I don't own it, so I can't speak for it, but I trust his word. All I know is this thing is unique. It is very great smelling. This is for adventurous people, so I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's a safe bet, but I would never think that this was out of anyone's wheelhouse. If you've smelled tea, or you love the smell of tea, and you love the smell of citrus, and you like that herbal scent, this is going to be right up your alley. I think it's very, very impressive. I think it's extremely unique, and it smells wonderful to me. Now, longevity, who can wear this, where we're going to wear it, let's get to that. Now, in terms of longevity, this wasn't a beast on me, at least in particular, but I did get 7.5 hours. Very respectable. I think it will increase with time. The notes that are in here, I don't think are designed to be a 12-hour monster, but I do see this being 8 hours probably. And push, I got about 1.5 hours, so very run-of-the-mill for Dua, if you will. And I know in normal fragrances, this is probably very impressive that it gets almost 8 hours and 1.5 hours of really strong push with a very nice scent bubble that lasts almost the entire ride. And on close, this will last way, way longer, but this is kind of my experience that I have on it. I've only been wearing it for like 3 days, so I've worn it multiple times in different locations and then scent of the day today to try to get as many experiences with it as I can. I'm sure this will change just a little bit. Like I said, I know it's going to get a little bit stronger, but I think it's very respectable for what it does. I think it's very unique, and it's not a very challenging scent, and it's going to kind of take you out of your wheelhouse if you want to try something completely different than the normal bright citruses or the leather-based fragrances and all of that. This is kind of its own thing. Nothing else smells like it that I've ever smelled. Like I said, the only thing in actual nature or in life is like a hot lemon tea with vanilla. That's the best way to describe it. Now, in terms of versatility, I think you could wear this almost anytime. It is not a super dark fragrance by any means, and it's definitely not the brightest of the bright. I think it's perfect for cooler springs and fall. I think summertime at nighttime, just fine. Depending on the temperatures that you get in your winters, you could probably pull this off. Although I do think there are a lot better fragrances for winter, as I think there are a lot better fragrances for summer than this one. But in that nice little niche of cool spring and cool fall, it's going to be an absolute pleasure. Now, again, depending where you live. If you live more north, you can get more wearings out of this. Down south, you may get less wearings, but just choose accordingly. Don't pick it in direct sunlight. Don't put it in brazenly cold -30, because it's not going to last. And with the notes that are in here, I definitely do think it's both. I think it's unisex. I think if you're a woman and you enjoy tea fragrances, you're going to love this. The citruses are going to be right up everybody's alley. The base, while it does have some wood and some nice musk, it doesn't get nasty or out of hand or ever swing to one side of the fence with very masculine. I think it's right down the middle. It's definitely something to experiment with. If you've never tried a tea fragrance, this is a very good fragrance to try it with because it does have some sweetened frosted vanilla that may appeal to a lot of women as well. I know a bunch of men are going to try this. Like I said, if you can get your hands on a sample, try that first, because this is very abstract, if you will. Nothing disgusting. That's just my opinion to you, because it is completely different, even though I think this is an amazing drop. Even though I do think this is an amazing release and a lot of people are going to catch on with it, that's just my opinion though. Remember always, wear what you love what you wear. Until I come to you again, I want to thank you so much for being here. I love you guys and girls so much. Be blessed. Stay fresh.
We got shorties on the floor. We got niggas by the bar. We got